everybody, and welcome back to a very special podcast. This is the podcast in which we talk about all of your favorite TV series from yesteryear, and then discuss them over a glass of wine. I'm Patrick M. Dunn. Perhaps you remember me from the previous 101 episodes, and I'm joined here tonight, as always, by Lady in Red, Kat Halstead.
Hello, everybody. What's up?
Yeah, and tonight is a special rain delay, or Netflix streaming delay. We originally scheduled Love Actually tonight.
Yes, that was our original schedule.
Yes, but it's not available on Netflix anymore, and Kat was too lazy to walk upstairs and grab the DVD.
No. I looked. I actually went and looked, and I couldn't find it. So it means it's not in an accessible space.
Oh, it's been stolen. Should we put an APB out for Kat's Love Actually DVD?
No, I realized like none of my Christmas DVDs were accessible. So I'm actually kind of like pissed.
All right. Well, we'll have to do a GoFundMe and get Kat's Love Actually DVD back. Everyone can put together like a couple of bucks, and we'll send you a new one. More information at veryspecialpodcast.com. We'll have a hot link there. But we'll come back to Love Actually. I don't know. Maybe we'll do like Christmas in July or something.
Maybe. I was going to watch it with like a boy too.
Oh, yeah. When you watch it with a boy, let me know. And then we'll just do like an emergency Love Actually podcast.
You would love that.
I had all my notes. Ready to go. I was like all ready to gab about Love Actually, but we'll have to put it on hold.
Wait, where did you watch it?
I haven't watched it yet, but I got all like my pre-notes together, like what else.
Oh, you got all the pre-notes?
Yeah, all the pre-notes and stuff. But it's there. It's there waiting in the wings, waiting to go, ready to wear. Prada Porta.
Yeah, I was like, I just saw it too. Like, I was searching, I couldn't find it anywhere. I was so mad.
Yeah, like why would they take that shit off Netflix?
I don't know, but it'll probably be like, I was like half expecting it to air on like Freeform later that night, but I didn't see it.
I don't want to watch like a shabby like Freeform version of it though. But
yeah, you don't want to watch the Freeform version because they'd like cut out like all the good stuff, like the porn storyline.
Yeah, we want porn storylines. Like that's the only reason why we watch Love Actually is for the porn storyline.
That's the only reason Patrick watches Love Actually.
Can I just mention though? I wanted to, I just saw Bad Moms Christmas for like the second time recently, and Mila Kunis, our gal pal, she makes reference that like all she wants to do on Christmas is just like sit down and watch like Love Actually, basically. And her mom in the movie, played by the great Christine Baranski, just goes, "Terrible movie. It's a terrible movie." And great line. I laughed, and I wanted to bring that up in the Love Actually episode, but we couldn't do it. We didn't get a chance.
So, what did we decide on since we could not do our first choice of Love Actually?
Yeah, so this is wild. This is fucking wild. So we decided to go back to a time before television existed. We wanted to go back to the golden days of Hollywood because we love our little like our golden age of Hollywood. We love our screen queens. We love them to death, and so I suggested, because it was on Amazon Prime, Christmas in Connecticut, and you had the audacity to say which one.
Hey, I just wanted to double check. I never know. I was hoping you meant the original, but there was part of me that was just afraid you meant the remake starring Diane Cannon, directed by Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I was like petrified.
You know what? Low key, we should do that next year. Like as a joke.
Okay, I looked into that one just a little bit because I'm fascinated by it. It was made for TNT.
Yes.
And it aired in April.
When did that one come out? 1990? Was it 1992?
April 1992.
We're in a post-Terminator 2 world. Arnold Schwarzenegger is my world. I loved everything about Arnold Schwarzenegger. I was like going back and like rediscovering his catalog. And I remember that was the year that my mom subscribed to TV Guide. So we were getting TV Guide on a weekly basis. And I just remember getting TV Guide that week, flipping it open, going through like the first few pages, got through like Chairs and Jares and stuff, and then saw an article on Christmas in Connecticut directed by none other than Arnold Schwarzenegger. And my mind was blown. And I really, really wanted to watch it, but it was on.
Yeah.
I want to say it was on at like 9 p.m. And how old was I in 1992? 11? You apparently know.
Yes, we were 11.
It was probably on like a weeknight. Like Sunday night, I could stay up late and watch like the Bundys, but...
Actually, we were like 10 because it was April.
This was on in April?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, like what the... Like, okay, not only do they make a terrible version of this movie, they air it in April.
No, whoa. whoa, my, hold on.
Like, is this the original didn't even come out in like during Christmas time. It came out in what, August?
Well, I mean, cinematically, sometimes Christmas movies come out in like August, September. It makes sense.
Yeah, still weird.
If it catches on, then it'll be like a hit in December. People will be like, hey, let's go see Christmas in Connecticut in December because, we know and love that movie. But I don't know. April is way too fucking early.
Yeah, like, okay. I am like a slut for Hallmark Channel, Like, that is like my freaking everything. I've got like 3 or 4 movies I still got to catch up on my DVR.
Yeah, you are the Hallmark whore. Is that what I called you?
I think you did call me that. I'll stick to the slut for Hallmark. But
hold on, before we get there, can we give a shout out to the Hallmark hubby who follows the podcast Twitter account?
Oh, hey, Hallmark hubby, and the Hallmarkies podcast follows us too.
Oh, nice. So we're making it. I think
Yeah.
You know what? I think it was that Mariah Carey episode. I think
Yes.
got us accolades.
Yes, probably. As you know, I'm like down for everything Hallmark. And they do like a week in July where it's like Christmas in July.
Yes.
And then they like start their Christmas movies like right at the end of October. So like that last weekend of October is when they start. And I will like record them if they start before Halloween. And I won't watch them until after Halloween. Like even with Dream Man, I watched his movie not until after. I mean, there was other stuff going on too. But still, I wasn't going to watch it when it aired before Halloween.
Wow, hot scoop. Cat waits till after Halloween to watch the Hallmark Christmas movies that air actually before October 31st. So you heard it here first.
Yes.
Podcast exclusive. All right, so Christmas in Connecticut. So this movie was released on August 11th, 1945. And, all right, wild story. So, all right, August 11th, we were still in the midst of World War II, WW2. Mm-hmm. 4 fucking days later is when it was Victory over Japan Day, which is wild to me. Like, I just thought that was like wild news when I read this.
Yes.
But I mean, there was still like a little bit of like war fragments like going on for like a few more months, but like technically August 15th was like the beginning of the end of World War II. And then like there's like a little bit of like wartimey stuff going on in this movie. So like it's kind of like weird to watch, I guess, right?
It is. It's you're watching it and one of the main characters is a war hero. And there are some very, very small characters who work at a local war factory, whatever that is. I think that's what they called it, the war factory.
Is it like a wartime effort is what it was?
Yeah, it's probably what it was, where it's like just like the local factory, but now all the women are working there because the guys are overseas.
Yeah, all you have to imagine is just picture a league of their own. So all the men are at war and the ladies have to just do the men's work.
Yes, exactly.
Whether it's baseball or... I don't know, like melting plastic.
Whatever it is they did back then.
It's like Wellman's plastic.
Was plastics even a thing yet?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I have no clue.
It's more of a 60s, that's the future, like The Graduate kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was something else. Maybe they were like whittling wood or something. I don't know. They don't specify what the ladies were doing at this wartime effort factory. But shout out to them though.
Just know they're at work.
Shout out to them. I just want to give them an applause, like a round of applause, just for keeping America alive. What was it like? Rosie? Wasn't that like the
Rosie the Riveter?
Yeah, Rosie the Riveter, making rivets. Sounds like a word problem in like a college math book. All right. In honor of 1945, I guess. Do you want to hear the top 5 films of 1945 according to a vote conducted by the IMDb? So this is like the top 5 movies according to IMDb voters.
Okay.
This is wild.
Let's hear it.
So number 5. Are you ready for number 5?
Give it to me.
All right. The original gal pal, probably the first gal pal ever, Joan Crawford, and her Academy Award-winning performance in the classic film noir, Mildred Pierce.
Ooh.
About a hard-working mother who inches towards disaster as she divorces her husband and starts a successful restaurant business to support her spoiled daughter. We know and love that movie, right? Have you ever actually seen Mildred Pierce?
It's probably been a long time. I'm sitting here thinking I need to add that to my list of movies I need to watch.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
Apparently Kat has a long list of movies she needs to watch.
We love ourselves some Joan Crawford. I haven't seen Mildred Pierce since I was a young child, so I don't know, maybe we should revisit it under podcast eyes.
Yeah, I think if I saw it, I was like really young, so it didn't like stick with me.
All right. Do you want to hear a hot scoop about Mildred Pierce? I got a hot scoop for you.
Okay.
As you know, the film co-starred actress Anne Blythe, who was nominated for an Oscar in the Best Supporting Actress category. She lost it to Anne Revere for her role in National Velvet. But hold on, fun fact. Anne Blythe who was born August 16th, 1928, is still alive and well, at least at the time of this recording.
Ooh, knock on wood.
Yeah, she's on a short list of the last surviving stars of the golden age of Hollywood. I guess they describe that as the years between 1917 and 1963. Do you want to hear some other notable stars of like the early days of Hollywood that are still alive and kicking?
Yes, I want to know who's still alive.
All right. We're going to start off with one of our faves, Olivia de Havilland, who's 101.
Olivia de Havilland.
Shout out to her.
Yes, I will co-sign that gal pal.
Yeah, definitely a gal pal. She's definitely gal pal status. And now we're going to bro it up a bit. Kirk Douglas, also 101 and still kicking. Yeah, shout out to him. Betty White, who is 95.
Betty White, ultimate gal pal.
Yes, the ultimate GP. Doris Day, also 95. Shout out to being 95.
Ooh. Doris Day, que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be.
And I got one more. This one will like make you excited. June Lockhart of Lassie and Lost in Space fame. She's 92.
Whoa, she's still kicking it?
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
Whoa.
There's a Wikipedia page which is just like surviving stars of the golden age of Hollywood, and it's a short list, but shout out to all those people who are on there.
That is amazing.
Yeah, keep on kicking.
Yes, keep on kicking.
All right, are you ready for the fourth top film of 1945 according to a vote conducted by the IMDb?
Yes, what is it?
The war thriller Rome, Open City. Do you know this?
No.
I didn't know this either until today. This takes a peek into Nazi-occupied Rome in 1944 and follows the life of a resistance leader, Giorgio Manfredi, who is being chased by Nazis. This is an Italian film, and hot scoop, this film was difficult to film due to the devastation of the actual war that surrounded them. It was just tough to film. So this movie received, at the time of release, mediocre reception. However, when the war ended and, people were like, all right, let's go back in time and like look at these old movies of yesteryear, people were like, this is a fucking great movie. This is a great movie. And the film's reputation grew as the years went on. So shout out to Rome Open City.
Okay.
Any thoughts on Rome Open City? Any lingering questions that you may have?
No, I think I might have to check it out. I'll add it to my list of movies to watch.
It's very crudely filmed because Rome was a disaster and it was just tough to film. So
yeah.
Are you ready for number 3 though? I think number 3 might cheer you up a little bit.
Yes. Okay. What's number 3?
Have you ever seen The Lost Weekend?
Think so, maybe. I don't know.
All right, I'm going to read you the description. You're probably going to say no, but then I'm going to tell you about a famous scene, and you're going to be like, oh, I know this. So The Lost Weekend is another film noir which chronicles the life of an alcoholic during a 4-day bender. This film is known for its use of the main character walking towards the camera as neon signs pass by, which has been used dozens of times in other films and cartoons and TV shows. Do you know that scene?
I don't think so. Not off like the top. I mean, I've seen a million scenes like that.
Yeah, well, like that's the original one. Like it derives from this movie. Is like the first time it was used.
I've seen like that kind of scene, but I don't know if I've seen the original scene. Is what I'm saying.
Are you ready for number 2?
Yes.
All right. This film stars actress Celia Johnson in The Brief Encounter. All right, so she's the main female in this movie, and after meeting a stranger at a railway station, she is tempted to cheat on her husband. Scandalous.
This sounds like the plot of a TV show I used to watch called Betrayal.
Maybe it's based on Brief Encounter. I've never heard of it. Have you?
I've never heard of this, but it sounds like this awesome, hot, sexy show I used to watch. Which ABC canceled.
Well, hot, sexy shows sometimes get canceled. That's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Yes. People were like mad because it was about 2 people having an affair falling in love with each other.
Are you sure this is not The Affair on Showtime?
There was no Pacey.
Oh, have you watched The Affair on Showtime? You know what? I've seen it. I'm not a fan.
No, I have not.
I'm not a fan. I don't know. It's just kind of. It was okay. I didn't stick through the whole first season. I kind of got like halfway through it. But you know what? That was in 2015. It was rocky times. We were trying to launch a podcast, so maybe I'll revisit it because I love myself some Pacey.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're totally ready for the next PaceyCon.
Yeah, we're ready for PaceyCon. I sat through 5 seasons of Fringe for Pacey, just for Pacey.
See, I couldn't even do that.
Really? You couldn't stick through all of Fringe?
I don't think I even watched an episode.
Really? You've never seen Fringe?
Okay, come on. Which is weirder that I haven't seen? Fringe or The Neverending Story?
I'm going to say Fringe, only because we know you love yourself some Joshua Jackson.
That's true. I do love me some Joshua Jackson.
That's his name, right?
Yes.
Like, have you seen The Skulls? Like his shitty movie from the late 90s.
I totally saw it.
Which is a great movie. We're going to do it for the podcast someday.
Next Halloween.
Yeah, next Halloween. Also stars... Who's the guy that... Paul Walker. Paul Walker's in it, right?
I honestly don't remember. I have not seen this since it probably came out on VHS and I rented it at the Blockbuster up the street.
You know what? I think I bought the same VHS from the Blockbuster when they like putting movies on sale. So shout out to us buying classic Joshua Jackson movies. Because we both love Joshua Jackson. We're going to be in a throuple someday.
He's Charlie from the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm waiting for him to come back and be the lead in Mighty Ducks 4 when Charlie is the broken man coaching a Pee-wee hockey team.
Yeah, he's like the new Gordon Bombay.
Yes, exactly. Like, that is totally the path he's meant to take.
You know what? It's coming.
And I'm waiting for it, Disney.
We're going to vision board it into existence. So stay tuned, folks.
Well, and then, like, Adam Banks is the other Pee-wee hockey coach, so you get that, like, rivalry.
Yeah, ooh.
Boom. Give it to me, Disney. Take my money. As I say, as I'm sitting here in a Disney t-shirt and drinking out of a Disney tumbler.
Yeah, and give us the original jerseys. I don't care about, like, the new ones, like the ones that became, like, the NHL jerseys.
Yeah, give us the green and gold.
Yeah, green and gold, girl. All right, are you ready for the number one movie of 1945, according to IMDb voters?
What is it?
Do you have any guesses? Probably not.
I have no guesses whatsoever. Wait, hold up.
I will say, hint.
Hold up.
Okay.
Hold up. Is this like one of my top 3 favorite movies of all time?
No, probably not.
Oh.
Hint. It's directed by Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, I don't know what it is then.
So, it's Spellbound. Have you ever seen this? Because I haven't.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
All right, so this stars Ingrid Bergman, Gregory Peck, and Michael Chekhov, to name a few. And it's about a psychiatrist who protects the identity of an amnesia patient accused of murder while attempting to recover his memory. You want to hear a hot scoop about Spellbound?
Okay, but this is the last time you're allowed to say hot scoop in this podcast.
All right. Hot scoop. Ingrid Bergman and Gregory Peck were both married to others at the time of production, but they had a brief affair during filming. Their secret relationship became public knowledge when Peck confessed to People magazine in an interview in 1987, 5 years. Yes, 5 years after Bergman's death.
Ooh.
Is that a hot scoop or what?
That's a hot scoop.
I think it is. So do I get permission to say it at least one more time?
If you say it, it better be a fucking good hot scoop.
I will aim for a hot scoop. All right. Shall we get into Christmas in Connecticut, the most magical place in the world?
Apparently, I guess.
Apparently.
I don't know.
At least in 1945. Take us into Christmas in Connecticut. How do we begin? How does this madness begin? It's a controversial beginning.
It is. Okay, so the actual beginning is this guy like having a 3-course, 7-course French meal, all on his lonesome.
Well, before we get there, though.
What?
Before we get there, war is hell. Because we see a battleship being sunk by a German submarine. You just like casually left that part out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Scandal.
So that happens. Yeah. Like this guy, he's like having this like amazing sounding French meal. Like, oh my God, it's like mouth-watering. Like you just want to devour all this food, even if you're like not hungry because it just sounds so good. But then it cuts to the life raft and he's actually like passed out dreaming about food because they've been lost at sea for days, him and this other guy. And they haven't eaten and they're starving and he just wants like good freaking food.
Yeah, they are hungry, they are bored. And I mean, what else do you do when you're just like chilling at sea for 18 days? Like, where are they in the South Pacific? I couldn't like figure this out.
They have to be in the South Pacific. I can't figure out where else they would have been.
Right. Okay. So the guy in question, his name is Jeffy or Jefferson. I'm gonna call him Jeffy though because that's what the the hot nurse called him.
Mm-hmm. His name is Jefferson Jones.
Yes, but he's gonna be Jeffy going forward. And the other guy is Seaman Sinkowitz. Oh, Sinky. We're gonna call him Sinky. And poor Jeffy. He's hungry. He's so hungry, and he has like one of those like Looney Tunes Waikiki Wabbit like fantasy sequences where he imagines like him and old Sinky are like floating around the ocean. Instead of like picturing his co-sailor as like a hamburger, he just pretends that like they're just being served like a fancy ass meal.
Like he's just hungry. He's freaking hungry. That's all he is.
I mean, I that would be me like an hour into this adventure. Like, let's be real.
I mean, I'm sitting here. I've been eating since I got home.
I know. I had snacks before we started podcasting. And that was, like 40 minutes ago? And now all I am thinking about is snacks.
Like, legit, I have had a tuna salad sandwich, 2 pieces of banana bread, And now I have a cookie.
All right, so Sinky, old Seaman Sinky, snaps Jeffy out of this fantasy sequence, and then they reminisce more about food. Jeffy mentions that if they ever get out of this, his first meal is going to be a big, thick, juicy steak with baked potatoes, complemented by some asparagus floating a heavy spoon of hollandaise sauce, and of course, yes, of course, down it all with some chocolate ice cream.
Dude, that sounds good, and I don't even like asparagus.
Ooh, yeah. Do you like hollandaise sauce?
I don't think I've ever had it.
Oh, you've never had but
it sounds good.
You've never had an Eggs Benedict?
Nope.
What?
I am a very particular girl. I like what I like, and I am kind of a picky eater.
Well, when we eventually meet, the first thing I want to do is take you to a Waffle House, and we're going to get you an Eggs Benedict. And shall we talk about this cutscene that we get? We get a cutscene, and now we're in a hospital, and a sexy wartime nurse is strutting with a food cart.
Yes.
On one of the trays is exactly what Jeffy's described as his humdinger of a post-raft meal. Oh boy, cue the salivated mouths, because Jeffy's...
Okay. This is some good-looking hospital food.
Yeah.
And everybody has something different. That's when you're in the hospital, you get 2 or 3 options, and that's it. And it depends on whichever diet the doctors put you on.
I was thinking this is post-World War II. We love veterans. America loves veterans, and we have to honor our veterans and give them the meals they deserve. However, poor Jeffy couldn't get the meal that he salivated for. Instead, he gets a bowl of milk with a raw egg floating in it.
Yeah, what the hell?
Please.
It's not even a scrambled egg in milk or a fried egg in milk. It's freaking raw egg in milk. Who thought of this shit?
Yeah, well, I love, the reasoning is, the hot nurse is, she's like, they told me that you were at sea with Seaman Sinky, and you gave him all the K rations. So he's been eating all along, and you haven't been eating anything, so your stomach is weak and whittled down. So you just gotta have milk and raw eggs, so...
No thanks.
Shout out to America.
Okay, I mean, at least give him some freaking grits or something.
Grits are good, though.
Or at least cook the freaking egg.
Yeah.
Give him a glass of milk to drink and a freaking cooked egg. And some plain toast.
This bitch is gonna get salmonella.
For real.
It's like an American hero is gonna get salmonella poisoning.
What the hell, people?
I'm just, very, very suspicious of, this reasoning, because I'm all right, is this just 1945 thinking? If you haven't eaten in a while, that your body's not going to be able to digest food?
It's probably what they do with anorexics or bulimics in the hospital. If they haven't eaten for a while, they ease them back into food.
How do they do it?
I don't know. Because I'm not anorexic or bulimic, but I don't they don't put you a steak in front of you the first day,
So you just get a hot bowl of milk?
Because your stomach hasn't had food in it, so they try to build it back up, I think.
Ooh, yeah, you gotta build you up. But all I have to say is, all right, so these two military bros, do they not know how to fucking catch a fish?
Maybe they couldn't. Maybe they were we don't know how to cook a fish on this boat, or they were just too weak.
I've fucking seen episodes of Married Children where Al Bundy, yes, fucking Al Bundy is grabbing fish out of the ocean. So I think these two fucks could have just fished. I don't know. Who knows? At least pull a fish out, devour it down, or something's gonna rise to the surface.
Yeah, something. I don't know.
Anyway, this is funny. Anyway, so since Jeffy can't eat, he has to read Elizabeth Lane articles in some type of 1940s Good Housekeeping type magazine.
Yeah, basically, okay, this is the way I want to describe her for a modern day. She's basically today's the Pioneer Woman. You know who that is, right?
No, who's the Pioneer Woman?
Her name is Ray Drummond. She's a really popular food blogger.
Okay.
Who now has a TV show on Food Network and her own line of stuff at Walmart and stuff. So she's really popular, and she writes these long ass vlogs about life on the farm and her cooking.
All right, I have a question for you though. I have a hot question for you.
Yes.
Why is there a Good Housekeeping type magazine in a MASH hospital instead of Guns and Ammo?
I was reading about this.
Okay.
And those were the types of magazines that, because it would make the guys feel at they had a piece of home with them, that would get sent to them in care packages and stuff.
Oh, so they wanted to have a little taste of the home life?
Yes.
I feel today though, the Army Bros today would totally want Guns and Ammo and
I don't think so.
Deer Hunter magazines.
Military guys today have a variety of interests.
I'm just thinking of I just recently watched 12 episodes of The Punisher, so I have a violence on my mind.
Yeah, I think I'll just base that on the military guys I know. and go out with.
Shout out to the military guys that Kat knows. All right. Regardless of the magazines that are at this hospital, it's basically food porn to Jeff as he closes his eyes and pretends to be drizzled in gravy, basically.
He's like reading it, and it's these lovely descriptions of food, and he's just like, oh, he's practically coming, let's be real.
They couldn't explicitly state this in a 1945 cinematic film, but today we would get like one of those like American Pie, like pie humping scenes of Jeffy humping a gravy boat.
Yes, but he would do it because he actually wanted to like, boom, instead of being like, what's it feel like? Warm apple pie.
Anyway, through some helpful super exposition, we learned that the sexy nurse's name is Mary Lee. Yes, shout out to Mary Lee. And she's horny for a husband.
Yeah.
And all the nurses seem to be. I guess with the end of the Second Greatest War looming, it'll be time for these lassies to hang up their old-timey nurses' caps and become more housewifely.
Yes.
Perhaps that's why these magazines were rampant in the hospital.
Yes, you know? They're trying to like get wifed up.
Yes. Mary Lee tempts Jeffy with possible marriage, but he takes a cue from Pee Wee Herman. You don't want to be with me, Mary. I'm a rebel. I'm a loner.
Mm-hmm.
Despite all this, Mary Lee still wants Jeffy as her beau, and she concocts this crazy plan involving Jeffy to spend Christmas at Elizabeth Lee's farmhouse in Connecticut.
Elizabeth Lane.
Is it Elizabeth Lane?
Yes, it's Elizabeth Lane.
Oh, did I say Elizabeth Lee? Sorry. That's
You're like getting her confused with Sandra Lee.
Who's Sandra Lee?
She's another Food Network star.
Oh, okay. Shout out to Sandra Lee. Anyway, Mary Lee, the nurse, concocts a crazy plan involving Jeffy to spend the Christmas at Elizabeth Lane's farmhouse in Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
And her thinking is that it'll change Jeffy's tune, and he'll begin to admire the simple life of being a supportive husband, a super-duper dad, as opposed to his vagabond lifestyle that is so Route 66-ish.
Yes,
you think?
it is.
That's the impression that I got. Like, I could see him, like, spending out his days drifting from town to town, maybe taking up odd jobs, perhaps solving mysteries.
Yeah, like, until he finds, like, whatever it is that he's, like, gonna click in, you know?
Yeah, I don't know, like, he'll, like, work at, like a widget factory or something, and then leave because that town sucks.
And they're all, like, really mad at this one girl because the mother was loose.
Yeah, shout out to, listen to our Route 66 episode. Can we talk about how our naughty Nurse Mary Lee, apparently has a hookup with the magazine's owner, Mr. Yardley.
Right, well, what she does is she sends him a letter, and she tells him about Jeffy being lost at sea and not having a really good meal, and he doesn't have a family to go home to for the holidays. And that she thinks it would be a really cool thing if he could spend the holiday with America's favorite housewife, Elizabeth Lane.
Remember that time that I nursed your granddaughter back to life?
So you owe me, old white dude.
She sends him that very important letter, suggesting that he try to woo Elizabeth Lane into allowing her to take in a celebrated war hero for the holiday. And Mr. Yardley loves the idea. He's, like, down for it. He thinks it'll be great for magazine sales.
Yeah, he's, like, at his big mansion reading the letter.
Yes.
And he's like, yes, I'm down for this. But then it gets better. His assistant brings him the menu for his Christmas dinner, and it's, like, just as bad. It's, like, a step up from, I don't even know if it's a step up from milk and a raw egg. It's, like, steamed prunes.
And isn't Mr. Yardley sitting at one of those, like, gigantic-ass long dining room tables that you always see in, like, movies and, like, TV shows involving rich people?
Yes.
And he's alone, and he's, like, trying to call up his family on the phone. He's, like, phoning them. They bring over that, like, that phone where they have to, like, call the operator first. Call my daughter. And she's like, oh, I can't come home. I got other things to do. So he's going to be alone. He's, like, alone in his mansion with his bearskin rug and his long-ass dining room table. But he's going to invite Elizabeth Lane to his house for a very important meeting. Very important meeting. But there's one problem. Huge problem. Elizabeth Lane is a fraud.
Big time.
She's a fraud.
She is. She's a total fraud.
She ain't some crafty early 20th century Martha Stewart type. She's just some iffy city slicker who can't cook, can't clean, and just, like, she just knows her way around a typewriter. And you know what? I already dig her. I already fucking dig her. I love her.
Like, I kind of love her, too.
I love her for this.
I just have so many questions, like, how did she end up in this career? Like, how did she get this job if she knew nothing about keeping house or cooking? But she figured out how to write about it.
They always say, like, write what you know about, and she obviously did not take that lesson and just did the opposite and ran with it. And it fucking worked out for her, so good for her.
And she gets the recipes from her friend Felix, who owns a restaurant.
Yeah, he's like the premier restaurateur in New York City.
Yes, he doesn't even charge a cover for his restaurant.
So hold on, when I was watching this movie on Amazon Prime, I got like one of those like pop-up video captions that popped up on the screen.
You did?
Do you want to hear? You want to hear a fun fact? Yes, you didn't get the fun fact.
Yes, I didn't get that.
All right, fun fact: Elizabeth Lane is loosely based on the then popular Family Circle magazine. Is it Family Circle? Yeah, Family Circle magazine columnist Gladys Tabor.
Yes, that's true.
Did you know that? Did you know this fun fact?
Yes, I knew that.
She just conjures up these like cozy articles about farmhouse living, how to properly decorate your mantle, trim your tree in style, and or cook up like the perfect Christmas goose. And like I said, she's a fraud. And she based her faux Connecticut farmhouse on her friend's home, Mr. John Sloan. The probably gay architect.
I have so many issues with Sloan.
Let's hear them. Let's hear your issues with Sloan.
Okay, like, one, why does this bitch live in a big giant house in Connecticut all by himself if he's some big shot architect?
He designed the house to his standards.
Okay, so it's like his calling card. Whatever. Fuck him.
Do you think he has a sugar daddy? Like a Connecticutian sugar daddy?
I don't know. All I know is he's slimy. Like, the way he chases after Elizabeth, and he's like, she keeps like turning down his marriage proposal. And it's like, dude, she's just not that into you. She's like only going out with you because you buy her dinner. And then she doesn't have to buy her own dinner and she can put that money aside for a mink coat.
Mr. Sloan, he's obviously a gay man living in 1945 America, and it's a taboo subject. It's a taboo subject, and he's probably in his 30s. I get. How old do you think Mr. Sloan is?
He's at least our age.
At least our age, maybe a little bit older, but then we got to remember people like aged differently back then. People like
they really
fucking aged hardcore. So he could be like 27 for all we know.
Real, for freaking real.
So he is an accomplished architect. He's designed some really good landscapes and buildings and all this stuff. He's even designed the farmhouse in his classy Connecticut village. I don't even... do we know what town in Connecticut this is? Is this like Greenwich or something?
Never says.
I get the impression that now people are starting to be like, hey, this like hot architect, why isn't this guy married? Like, why does he not have a lady at the house? And he has to keep up appearances, and he's just like, all right, if I'm going to marry somebody, it's going to be the hottest lifestyle blogger, for lack of a better word, in the land, Elizabeth Lane. And he's just trying to like nail this bitch. And she's like, no, I kind of feel bad for him, but I don't at the same time. And
there's still something slimy about him. There's just something like that, just rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, I can totally see it. Because like he's, you know what? Like even when we get to like the hijinks part of the movie, we'll get there in a little bit. He's still in it for himself because he wants to like promote his like architecture work. And he's like, hold on, Mr. Yardley, forget that bitch Elizabeth Lane. I'm an architector. I'm an architect. I designed these fancy buildings. You should see the work I've done.
He's no Ted Mosby.
He's
no Darren Stevens. He's no Mike Brady.
He didn't design a gas station that looks exactly like the Brady house. So fuck you, Mr. Sloan.
Screw Sloan.
Have we scooped that Elizabeth Lane is a fraud?
Yes, we have. I think we've established that.
All right, so she's a fraud. Pretty much, she's like type for pay. She just wants money. She likes cash. She just wants to be rich. She just wants to live in the city, wear a mink coat, go to all these little speakeasies, and just be like a fun New York City broad. And she wants to smoke cigarettes out of those long ass sticks and see a Broadway show or two or three because she can. Or she's not tied down by the conform restraints of what society expects from women.
She's just like, okay, the bitch just wants money so she can buy a freaking mink coat. That's all she wants.
And she's gal pal material. Let's just throw that out there. She is totally...
Yeah, she's like goals.
Yes.
Hashtag.
Yeah.
Hashtag right. Goals.
OG gal pal. Elizabeth Lane, like the original gal pal?
The original gal pal is Elizabeth Lane, 100%. 100% emoji. 100%. 100 emoji.
And she's a writer. She's a writer. Do you think she's related to Lois Lane?
Ooh. Conspiracy corner. I don't have the cool sound effect you put in.
All right. So things get kind of controversial here now. Like things are going to get a little dicey. So Mr. Yardley invites Elizabeth Lane to his mansion and proposes the idea of hosting Jeffy the sailor for Christmas night, for like a Christmas dinner. I guess she's supposed to like prepare him a Christmas dinner.
Yeah, because she wrote about like making what to do to make the perfect Christmas dinner.
She's supposed to invite this sailor into her home with her husband and her baby. Apparently she has a baby. She's like fantasized this baby into existence.
Yeah, she wrote about a baby. Like my favorite part is she doesn't remember all the stuff she writes about.
Yes.
But all her readers do. Like she wrote, like, cause she would write down, like, this is the baby's, like, exact schedule. Like, what, bitch? What?
You know what, though? I will give it to Elizabeth Lane because we podcast about stuff and I literally forget what we talk about. So.
Oh, true. Like, actually, I was telling gentleman friends earlier. I don't, like, ever remember.
Suitors? One of your suitors?
Ever remember, like, what we actually talk about, like. I have to go back and listen and be like, okay, this is what we talked about. Oh, Patrick said that. Ooh, I said that. Damn, I was a bitch this episode.
You're like, we had an 11-minute conversation about the Black Cauldron? What?
Yeah, like, what?
Girl, what?
I still need to watch that.
I totally relate with Elizabeth Lane. I understand her strife. I understand her quagmire here. Mm-hmm. So she's now at Mr. Yardley's home, and Mr. Yardley is trying to woo her into hosting a war hero, basically a decorated war hero for Christmas night, basically, just like the Christmas dinner. And like, you can't say no to that. It's post World War II.
Like, you can't. And he definitely does not give her the opportunity to say no. And then he invites himself as well.
Yes. She's trying, like, she leaves the room for a second and she's like, hold on, I'm going to march back in, give my 2 cents. And she's like, all right, Mr. Yardley, there's something I wanted to say to you. And he's like, yeah, exactly. I'm going to invite myself too. And she's like, yes, please come, Mr. Yardley. And then she leaves. She's like, what the fuck did I just do? Like, am I a fucking moron?
Oh, shit.
She's like, oh, God. She's like, all I was thinking about was that stupid mink coat. And I just wanted to be strutting down New York City, just showing off to all my friends.
Exactly.
I couldn't just say the right thing. But it's great. So now she's back at the restaurant. So she has like a private chef, Chef Felix. Is that his name?
Basically, he's just like this old, like, I don't know if he's actually like her uncle or he's just like this kindly old guy who just is like, I'm going to take care of you because you obviously cannot take care of yourself.
Oh, he's totally just a Hungarian chef that is on her payroll. Mm-hmm. Like she just hires him just to basically give her recipes that she publishes. Like
he gives her, like, I think the restaurant has to be like the bottom floor of her building. Because he, like, just brings her up food.
It's like a hot restaurant, too. It's like, it's the restaurant in New York City. It's like the Nobu of 1945. Mm-hmm. And it's hot. All the people are going there. This whole disastrous meeting with Mr. Yardley just happened. So she had to go down. She went down in the restaurant. She had to sit at a table. She had to meet with her editor, Mr. Beachman? Is that his name?
I honestly don't remember.
Well, she meets with her editor.
Because, like, you feel like he should be, like, way more important to this story, and then we, like, never see him again after this.
Yes, exactly. So this dude shows up. She's her editor. He knows about the sham, about the fraud of Elizabeth Lane.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, fuck.
He's in on it. Like, he's like, if this, like, goes down in flames, I'm going down too.
Yeah. He's like, you did not just fucking go to Mr. Yardley's house and offer for him and the sailor dude to come to your, like, faux Connecticut farmhouse for Christmas. She's like, I did. And he's like, oh my God. He's like, my fucking wife. My wife loves money, loves Broadway, loves fucking mink coats just like you, loves cars. I can't afford this lifestyle. Like, I'm done. My career's over. I'm never going to work again in this town. I'm going to have to, like, move to somewhere else, like the middle of the country, be a farmhand. Who knows? Who knows what'll happen to me? And she's like, whatever, like, who gives a fuck? Like, I'm done. I'll just go write trashy fucking Pulp Fiction novels. Who cares? I'm a good writer.
Yeah.
I love her strong head, like, in all the disaster. She's like, yeah, whatever, who cares? Like, we'll go down together. The ship will go down. I'll still float. You'll fucking sink. Good for you. Maybe me and your wife will hook up. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay.
I'm a strong female.
Like, she's kind of, like, sort of okay with, like, being done with this scam. She's, like, kind of over it.
Yeah, it's probably exhausting on her because she can't remember her lies. She goes to like parties and people probably talk to her and they're like, oh, Elizabeth Lane, tell us about this like Christmas goose that you made. And she's like, yeah, it's good.
She's probably never even eaten a goose cooked this way.
Yeah, she's like, they're like, what do you season it with? And she's like, I don't know, paprika?
Yeah, exactly. Well, if she got the recipe from Felix, yeah, there's probably some paprika.
Yeah, they're like, paprika on a Christmas goose? Anyway, she just, she's like, you know what? This fucking asshole, Mr. John Sloan, he's been like proposing to me for I don't know how many years. I've been using his farmhouse as my ruse for the articles that I've written all these years. So, you know what? Maybe I should just marry him. Like, I'll just fucking settle down, have some babies with him. He's got money. He's an architect.
I won't have to work again.
Yeah. You know what? Fuck it. I like Connecticut. Yeah, I'll just chill in the fucking den every day, drink some martinis.
Like, okay, I'll marry him to keep this like whole ruse going.
The key word though in this sentence is that she says that Mr. Sloan has a Connecticut farm. And her editor is like, hold on. He has a Connecticut farm?
Yep.
She's like, yeah, that's like, I base all my articles like on his farm in Connecticut. And he's like, wait, I got a fucking good idea. Let's do this. Like for real, marry Mr. Sloan. You can keep your job, host the party at his Connecticut farm. But we'll find like a judge to marry the two of you. So it'll be legit. It'll be totally be legit. She's like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Whatever, I'm up for it.
So she's actually going to marry this D-bag. Instead of just pretending to be married to him, she's actually going to marry him. Like, this, like, it pissed me off. That, like, pissed me off, but I'm like, it's 1945. That kind of had to be the thing.
Let's flash back to, like, old-timey movies for a second. If you watch a movie, pretty much like any movie, Golden Age of Hollywood, the female character is always in, like, this strong, powerful situation. Elizabeth Lane is a writer. She writes prominent articles in magazines. She's featured all over the place. And then, she's like, I'm just going to fucking settle down. Like, I'm just going to fucking settle down, just marry this dude, and just give up on all of my hopes and dreams. That is like a recurrent theme in old-timey movies. It drives me nuts. Like, every Joan Crawford movie pretty much is just like her on the cusp of something great, and then she just like settles down for a dude.
Exactly.
And like, it's just like, you know what? Like, she like doesn't even know these people. Like, she just meets some of these people, and she's like, all right, I'll just marry you. Why the fuck not?
Yeah, it's like, okay, you've got a farm. You seem to make like a really decent living because you got a housekeeper too, and you don't actually have to do the work on the farm. So yeah, I'll marry you.
Let's just find a judge on Christmas Eve to come over and legalize this.
Yeah, they get a judge. He shows up, and they're like about to do their vows at Jefferson shows up early, and he's freaking hot.
Yeah, he shows up like 3 hours early on a fucking horse and sleigh, which is fucking...
Well, didn't they all show up on horse and sleigh?
Yes, everyone shows up by horse and sleigh. That's like the mode of transportation in Connecticut. Apparently.
I think it's the same way in like Holiday Inn, so...
Did they not have cars in Connecticut?
I think because of the snow, the horse and the sleigh was actually the safer mode of transportation.
Yeah, it might have been. I mean, there was at least one car in this movie. We'll just throw that out there. It shows up later. A car shows up. But I just thought it was fucking hilarious. A horse and sleigh shows up, and they're like, oh, Jefferson's here. He's here early. We'll have to postpone the wedding. And they hide the judge in, like, the library.
Yeah.
And they just feed him alcohol, just, like, while they try to, like, figure out the next part of the scheme.
Yes, Felix is the best because he's just like, I'm going to get the judge drunk. I'm going to get rid of everybody. I'm going to make sure there's always a distraction because Felix cannot stand Sloan.
Felix hates Sloan. And you know
Felix is like, no, dude, I don't trust you. You're not getting anywhere near my little Elizabeth.
Yeah, as soon as Jeffy shows up, Elizabeth answers the door. They have an instant connection because I guess Jeffy thought that Elizabeth would be this, like, wrinkly old lady, like a haggard type woman.
Yeah, like he was expecting like freaking Martha Stewart, like a Martha Stewart type lady.
Yeah, and he wasn't expecting this like hot like 24-year-old maybe. She's like, let's be real, she's young. She's a young
Yeah,
skipper.
She's young. He goes, is your mother home?
Yeah, he's like, I'm here to see your mother. And she's like, my mother? What the fuck are you talking about, dude? He's like, Elizabeth Lane. And she's like, no, I'm Elizabeth Lane.
No, I'm Elizabeth Lane.
I'm Elizabeth Lane.
Like, she basically, as soon as she saw him, it was like if Dream Man came and knocked on my door, I'd be like, hi, you're pretty.
She was floored. She was like floored by his handsomeness. He was tall. He filled out a military suit well. Mm-hmm. And it basically was like everything that she was looking for. Like she was not like into like settling down. But then as soon as she saw him, she's like, you know what? I might want to settle down now. I need myself like a nice muscular war hero.
She's like, I will have this man's baby.
And then she's like, oh shit, I have a baby. Like, I have a baby with my fake husband.
Like, I have a fake husband and a baby and a farm. Oh my God, how am I going to do this?
Like, how am I going to explain all this?
Because this is like the guy.
But hold on. Luckily, I guess because of the wartime effort in the factories and stuff, the lady neighbors will drop their babies off at Sloane's house because Sloane's housekeeper is an excellent babysitter, and she just loves to take care of babies. So there just happens to be a baby for them to use.
Yes.
But unfortunately, in all of Elizabeth Lane's articles, she refers to the baby as a boy, but the baby that they're actually like taking care of is a girl. So it's kind of like a scandal. It becomes like a minor thing that she has to like weasel her way out of.
Yes. And I kind of just wish she would say, I said it was a boy in the articles to protect my privacy.
But she's not that quick-witted.
No, she's not.
The whole thing, all right, can we be real? The whole thing is just like an episode, a long-ass episode of Three's Company.
It really is.
So do you think the people that made Three's Company, like, was it Norman Lear? Did Norman Lear do Three's Company?
I don't know. I gotta Google this kind of thing. And you're just like throwing it at me.
Well,
I don't even have time to like bring Google up. A-hole.
Regardless, do you think the people who worked on Three's Company were like, you know what? They saw Christmas in Connecticut when they were young, and they're like, you know what? We should do a weekly television series that is just like this. Just fucking like this.
No, I don't think it was that.
You don't think it was that?
But because there was lots of movies like this where they had the screwball situation.
This one is like so much like Three's Company to me. Like, I've seen like calamity type movies, but this one is just like...
Three's Company is based on the British sitcom Man About the House.
Okay, do you think the people behind Man About the House saw Christmas in Connecticut? Like, we have to do a series about this.
I don't think Johnny Mortimer or Brian Cook thought that.
Are they alive? Can we write them? Can we tweet them?
Nope, dead. Well, at least one of them.
Well, let's Ouija board them and see.
I don't think so. Don't think it's happening.
My condolences to them. Sorry that you're no longer with us. Maybe you saw Christmas in Connecticut as a child and was like, hey, you know what? Let's do a Britcom that just involves all this wild shenanigans. Because like it is so much like Three's Company or whatever the fuck you just said Three's Company is based on. Because they're like leaving rooms, going into other rooms, and like things are just happening. And you got people like juggling like two lies at the same time, and it's great. It's fun. You got like multiple people involved.
It's like any basic sitcom plot.
Yes. And it's fun.
Like we saw this between Fred and Barney, Corey and Sean.
Yeah, like Fred and Barney doing their bowling alley scheme where they invent this like weird helicopter thing.
But then they also have to like go into Wilma's party or whatever.
Things kind of like start to fall apart for Elizabeth Lane though, because she's actually like now fallen for Jeffy.
And let's be real, does anybody blame her when you've got Sloan? Jeffy, hey, hi, boo, swipe right.
Hey Jeffy, come here, let's go work on this Christmas goose together. But the only problem is that Jeffy and Mr. Yardley, they both want to see Elizabeth cook. Like, they want to see her, like, prepare a meal. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, fuck. Like, oh, God.
They don't just want to eat the meal. They want to watch her, like.
Yes. It's very, like, nerve-wracking. Would you get, like, uncomfortable, like, someone's like, hey, I want to watch you, like, make this pie for Thanksgiving?
Oh, maybe, actually. Like, if someone was just, like, watching me cook, like, I would get nervous when my dad would watch me cook to stuff. Or, like, walk me through something, because I was always afraid I was going to fuck it up. Or also my dad was like the kind who would be like, oh no, what did you do? When you didn't do anything wrong and like freak you out.
I understand your strife because I'm like a horrible cook. I will sometimes try. Like I will put in my effort. So remember when Jerry Seinfeld's wife came out with like that like Can't cookbook or whatever it was called?
Yeah.
I bought the Can't cookbook and I was like, all right, I'm going to learn how to cook. Thank you. By courtesy of Jessica Seinfeld. Is that her name? Jess Seinfeld?
Yeah.
All right. So shout out to Jessica Seinfeld. So I bought the book. And I'm like starting like to cook something, and I have like people like coming by and like, oh, like why are you putting like that in with that? Mm-hmm. Why are you doing like Alfredo and Gouda together? And I'm like, I don't fucking know because the recipe called for it, and I'm getting like judged already, and I'm shrinking inside.
Yeah, I
feel like that little person in like the sexual harassment commercial where they shrink.
I don't think I've seen that commercial.
Oh, you haven't seen that commercial? It's a fun. I'm like, it's a fun commercial. It's a fun commercial. Wasn't that funny?
Don't know what's wrong with Okay, I'm okay.
No, but I mean, it's a classic early 90s commercial where you just like see this guy talking to like a woman and she's just like shrinking. You've never seen that commercial before?
I don't think so.
Oh, I'll find it. You know what? I'll find it for you. I'll put it on the Twitter. It'll be on a very podcast. You'll find this commercial. It's
Okay.
It's just like a very monumental commercial from my youth. I just remember for some reason. I just remember this like guy, this very skeevy looking, typical greasy 80s looking boss type, and he's like talking down to this woman. And as he's talking to her, she's just like shrinking, and it stuck with me. So that's how I feel when I'm being watched when I cook.
See, and like most of the time when I'm cooking, I'm either like alone or I have a 4-year-old with me helping.
And a 4-year-old's not going to judge you.
Yeah, he's not going to judge me.
A 4-year-old thinks you're God.
Totally, because I am the coolest aunt in the world, so booyah.
Yeah, so hold on to that title as fucking as long as you can.
I will.
All right, so what happens next?
Well, she has to like bathe the baby because Jefferson freaking knows the schedule. He has like the freaking schedule memorized, and he's all excited that he gets to like watch her bathe the baby, which, okay, can we say in 2017 climate is kind of sketchy?
Yes. All right, so I guess Elizabeth Lane like published her daily schedule, I guess, in one issue of this magazine.
Yeah.
Mr. Jeffy, you know, he was in the Mashlike Hospital for a long time, and he's, you know, probably just read a lot of her articles and just like memorized her schedule. And he's like, oh, it's like 7:15. It's time for you to change the baby. And they go upstairs into the baby's room. She starts to like take off the baby's diaper, and he's like, I thought you said you had a baby boy.
And it's like, oops, nope, it's a girl, Roberta. Not Robert, Roberta.
So then he's like, all right, well, let me see you like change her. And she starts to like change her. She can't do it. She doesn't know how to fold the fucking like diaper cloth.
Yeah, she has like no freaking clue at all. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I would not know how to like put on a cloth diaper.
I don't even think I could put on like a disposable diaper, to be real.
Then again, those were like the only kind of diapers they had back then. So it's like I can put, sometimes, I'm not going to lie, sometimes when I change a diaper, I put it on backwards still. And I've been doing it for years.
Doesn't she try to bathe the baby like in like hot water? He's like, hold on. You didn't even like test the water. She's like, oh, silly me.
Yeah, he's like, oh, let's check the water. She's like 100% clueless.
It's great. And you know what?
She has, like, I don't think she's ever been around a baby.
And you know what? I've never been around. I very meticulously avoid babies. You will never see me in presence of a baby.
Yeah, I totally cannot picture you like near a baby, holding a baby, feeding a baby, changing a baby, talking to a baby. I can't even see you doing peekaboo.
So my sister had a baby in March, and I'm just like, call me when the baby's like 2, and I will come by and I will like introduce myself as the fun uncle. But until then, keep me away. It's a baby. Like babies are just like globs of flesh to me, and I've never seen a cute baby. I don't think babies are cute. I think babies are weird. They poop. They cry. Just like come to me when they start talking. Come to me when they start talking and they start having interests.
Yeah, come to Patrick when they're all about the monster trucks and he can learn all about Gravedigger and Max D and all that stuff.
Yeah, like I want to be around for the fun stuff. Like introduce them to Star Wars and
yes, all that stuff.
He-Man and She-Ra and all that great, all the fun stuff that comes with.
Yes, be the fun uncle because being the cool aunt freaking rocks. So be the fun uncle.
Yes, and then you know what? When you're done, you just go, here you go.
Wait, you get to do that?
Well, I don't live with children, so yes, I get to do that.
That's true.
I can just go, all right, I'm going to podcast now so you can have your child back, and I will smell y'all later.
Like, smell you later. So long.
I can't believe smell you later replaced goodbye.
I know, right? Welcome to the future, bitches.
All right, where are we?
Okay, so, Elizabeth is clueless. Basically, you know, she doesn't know what she's doing, and then they want to watch her cook, and she's like, oh, Felix is cooking tonight. And they're like, oh, I wanted you to cook. Well, Felix wants to give me the night off.
They want to see her cook breakfast then.
Well, first, wait, hold on. We got to get to Christmas, the actual evening, where they're like decorating the tree and Jefferson's playing the piano.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And Sloan is getting like jelly as fuck.
Yes.
Because Elizabeth keeps making eyes at Jeffy.
Yeah, she's got the googly eyes for Jeffy. Little old Jeffy.
And they're like all super dressed up for just hanging around the house.
I'd be in my fucking PJ pants. Like, let's be real.
Like, honestly, the only reason I'm not in my pajamas right now is because I didn't take a shower yet.
Unless I'm going out, like unless I'm leaving the house and going somewhere that I will be for a long period of time, like a restaurant, I am not dressing up. Like, if I'm just going to the store, like, if I'm just running to, like, the Dollar General to buy ketchup, I ain't fucking throwing on jeans. I'm wearing fucking sweatpants. By golly gee, if I'm going to be fucking sitting right at home on fucking Christmas Eve of all days, I am going to be in fucking boxer shorts or sweatpants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like
I'm not fucking dressing up. Even if people came over, I'm like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. Fucking Stewie Griffin boxer shorts it is.
like, okay, I mean, if people are like over, sure, okay, I'll probably still be like in jeans and a hoodie or whatever. But
I don't know. You know what?
But like, there's a point where it's like, I'm not wearing a freaking ball gown. She's in a fucking ball gown
to parade around your living room.
Yeah, just to hang around the living room. No. And there's a point where, yeah, the pajamas are on. It's like Christmas Eve. Kids, your little butts need to go to bed because Santa needs to come. And Aunt Cat wants to eat the cookies.
Yeah, like Aunt Cat wants to eat the cookies, have some milk, and watch fucking 3 episodes of Happy Days before she goes to bed.
No, it would be watching A Christmas Story.
Oh, okay. Marathon on TNT, probably.
Exactly. TBS.
Mr. Yardley, even though he did not get Christmas dinner prepared by Elizabeth Lane, he insists. He says, you know what? If I'm not going to get a dinner, I'm going to get your infamous pancakes, and I'm going to watch you flip the pancakes yourself. And she's like, oh, God.
She made a big deal about flipping them in the goddamn air.
Yeah.
God damn it, Elizabeth Lane. What the hell were you ever thinking?
Yeah, you do not over-exaggerate. Like, if you're going to be like you're going to like faux up your life, just make it semi-realistic. Don't fucking over-exaggerate. That's like the moral of the story.
Yes, exactly. Like, make it believable. Not this over. Like, I can't believe people bought this BS from Elizabeth Lane.
And you know what? Have you ever made pancakes and like flipped the fucking pan and like had that pancake shoot like 11 feet in the air and fucking catch it in the pan? No.
Okay, but I can barely like flip a freaking pancake with like a spatula, and I'm a pretty decent cook, but I always fuck up pancakes.
So, Chef Uncle Felix, or the fuck his name, has to give Elizabeth Lane a lesson in flipping pancakes. And it's fucking disastrous. Like, the first time she, like, gets it on the floor.
It's disastrous. Like, the first few, like, fall on. Like, one sticks to the ceiling. One, like, falls into the burner.
And you know what?
It's a hot mess.
If you dropped...
Like, literally a hot mess.
If you dropped pancake batter on a fucking burner, that's, like, a 2-hour cleanup job.
Yeah, fuck that. Like, ugh.
Like, I was, like... literally surprised like how nonchalantly they just like brush that aside, like, oh, you dropped fucking pancake batter in the fucking stove burner.
Well, because you know the freaking housekeeper lady's the one who's gonna clean that mess up. Elizabeth Lane ain't cleaning that up.
There'd be fucking smoke all over the place. That shit would be like grizzled into the...
It'd be such a fucking mess. Like, fuck this. Fuck this.
There might even be like a small fire in the kitchen. Let's be real.
But she actually does flip the freaking pancake for Yardley. She actually, like, miraculously fucking did it.
It was by luck. Like, she flipped the pan, she closed her eyes, she held the pan up, and she's like, please, fucking God, just let this pancake land on the right side. And it landed on the fucking right side.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? Hold on. I've gone to, like, restaurants where I've watched people, like, flip omelets. You don't flip food that high in the air, though. All you have to do is just like a quick, like, swift of the wrist. So we're just like,
what you're supposed to do is, I've read about how to do it, is you like shift it to the one side of the pan and kind of do a forward motion and toss it in the air, and it's gonna like fly backwards, and you're supposed to catch it.
Yeah, you just want it to like slide out of the pan, but where it kind of like flips itself around. You don't want it to like go up in the air and do like 4 or 5 flips because you just want it to do like one little quick little turnover. Yeah, exactly. Fuck 1945 cinema for like perpetrating this type of perfectionism in women. So
yeah, like fuck this.
Can we talk about the late night shenanigans between Jeffy and Elizabeth Lane?
Oh yes, let's talk about this. You start.
So it's late at night, the Connecticut home of Mr. Sloane. So originally, Elizabeth Lane and Mr. Sloane were gonna like sleep in the same bed. But because it was such a taboo subject to the original housekeeper, she's like, no, like, this can't happen. Like, I will move out of the fucking house, even if you two pretend to sleep in there.
Hell no. She's like, you two are not married. This is not happening. I will not work for you guys.
Yeah, so she's like, all right.
F it. She's like freaking out.
So Elizabeth Lane's like, all right, I'll just go like chill downstairs. So she slips downstairs, and Jeffy sneaks downstairs into the kitchen. I guess to like have like a midnight snack. Mr. Yardley's there at first.
They just have to eat this wonderful food.
Yeah, so it's Yardley, Elizabeth, and Jeffy. They're all in the kitchen. And then like a cow just shows up at the window. Mr. Yardley's like, oh, it's like your famous cow from all the articles that you're writing.
Like, God damn it, Elizabeth. Girl! Fuck you, girl.
So she's like, I guess I gotta put it back in the barn. Jeffy, you want to come with me? And he's like, yeah, I'll come. So they go outside, and it's snowing or something. It's like a magical night.
Mm-hmm.
They're not freezing their ass off because, like, it's like fucking 2 degrees in New England.
Well, okay, to be fair, there is, when it snows, it's not super, super cold. There's like a weird warmth to the snow.
But it's New England, and it's December, and it's late at night. It's going to be fucking cold. It's fucking like 20 degrees here tonight in Myrtle Beach, so I can't imagine what it's like in Connecticut tonight.
Yeah, okay, point taken. I mean, it's 36 degrees here in Colorado Springs, so.
So they're outside, they're in the snow, and Elizabeth's like, have you ever kissed a married woman before? And Jeffy's like, no, it's like not my thing. And she's like, oh, well, maybe someday you'll get the chance to. And he's like, what's up with you? He's like, you don't really seem like you're married. Like, what's going on? And like, she like wants to tell him. And I don't know, like Mr. Sloan is like snooping on them too. It's like, he's like watching from outside.
He's watching them, but don't forget Oh yeah,
all right. So the judge is coming back in the morning.
No, the judge is coming back at night.
Oh, he's coming back at night?
Yeah, he came back at night. He came back after his dinner. He was going to do the ceremony right before, like, everybody went to sleep, and that's why they sent everybody up to bed.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So that's why Elizabeth is like, all right, Felix, stall the judge as best as you can because I don't want to fucking get married anymore. I want to bang Jeffy.
Like, Felix knows she doesn't want to get married, but she's still, like, gonna go through with it at this point, even though she's, like, all hot and bothered by Jeffy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, she'll try to, like, push it off like as best as she can, but I guess if it catches up to her, she'll just be like, oh, well, I'm married, I guess.
Like, oh, get a divorce, get community property.
Sloan sees it, and he's, like, starting to suspect. He's like, oh, I think she's starting to purposely put off the wedding. This might be a problem, especially since he had that, like, weird conversation with Mr. Yardley, where Mr. Yardley was like, you know what? I think you both are ready to have another baby because our competitor magazine, the author for that, the lifestyle blogger type woman for that magazine is already on her second baby. It's time that you catch up. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, and if you do that, I'll give you like a special column about architecture. And he's like, oh yeah. Ooh, I'm down for that.
Yes.
Now he's on like a side quest.
Sloan's like, ooh, hello.
So like now he's definitely on a side quest to keep Elizabeth Lane like in his pocket and away from Jeffy. Mm-hmm. So it's just like an even messier situation.
Sloan is just so scummy.
So then it's the next morning.
It's just awful.
And so what happens every morning is that a woman will come by and drop off a baby at the house because it's the wartime effort moms. And the previous day, it was a girl. It was a little baby girl. Roberta was her fake name. But today...
it's a chubby little baby boy.
It's a blonde-haired boy.
Yeah, he's a good,
who can talk.
3 or 4 months older than the other one.
Yeah, he's, like, notably older.
Like, you can't pass this off as the same baby, like, at all.
So Jeffy, like, kind of looks at it and he's like, all right, this is kind of weird. Mr. Yardley's like, yeah, this is kind of weird, but... they roll with it, I guess. I think, like, low-key, Jeffy, like, knows the scam. Like, he's like, all right, this bitch isn't married. I'm going to totally bang her tonight.
Like, Jeffy's putting the pieces together. Like, he knows something's up, but he doesn't know what. But then, like, there's this Christmas ball.
Yeah, there's the Christmas gala down the street.
Which they all apparently have to go to.
It's like a war bonds thing, too. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to, like, raise money for, like, war bonds or something. So, like, everybody has to go to it. They all head down. Elizabeth and Jeffy, they're like dancing pretty romantically.
Like, Sloane's not even dancing with her. She's dancing with Jeffy the whole time.
So, Mr. Yardley's like noticing. He's like, hold on. Like, these two are fucking close. Like, they're way too close.
Like, there's sparks there. This is not good.
They don't have a yardstick between them. This is not good for magazine sales because adultery doesn't sell papers.
Newsies sell papers.
So then what happens is, I guess, Elizabeth, like, wants to, like, go outside and talk to Jeffy, like, privately.
Yeah, they, like, go outside. She's, like, gonna tell him the truth. That's her plan.
Yeah, she's like, you know what? I'm done with this.
But they just randomly sit down in, like, a horse-drawn sleigh. And the horse just takes off and starts going somewhere. And they don't have reins to stop it or anything.
Yes. And apparently...
so they just go with it. They just go with it.
And it's the horse and carriage of, like, another prominent family in town. So that prominent family calls the cops. So when the police catch up with the horse and sleigh, Elizabeth and Jeffy get arrested. And they have to spend the night in jail.
Mm-hmm. And they have to spend, like, the night in jail.
Mr. Yardley heads back to the Connecticut farmhouse because he is just so, like, flabbergasted that Jeffy and Elizabeth ran off. So he goes back and he's just I guess, just gonna try to make sense of it all. I don't know what his plans is. But when he gets back, he apparently witnesses a kidnapping, but it's not really a kidnapping.
Yeah, it's not. It's like the mother coming to pick up her baby.
Yeah, the mother coming to pick up her baby. He calls the police. The press arrive. It becomes such like a media circus. Everything's going crazy.
Like, this is where things get like wild and crazy in Three's Company. Like, we've been building up to this.
Yes, but Elizabeth.
This is where like the movie like really like comes alive for me.
Yeah, it culminates here. So like Jeffy and Elizabeth aren't there because they're in jail.
Mm-hmm.
So now like all the characters are just starting to like come together, and now like the truth has to start coming out. But it's wild. It's a wild hot mess, and it's fun. So like Elizabeth finally gets out of jail. I guess like the police let her out because it turned out to not be a crime to steal a horse.
Yeah, like the police realized like the horse did just kind of like take off. All they did was sit down.
Yeah, so they were probably like doing a lot of explanation overnight, and she's like, all right, fine. For the fucking 14th time, Mr. Jeffy and I, we sat down on this horse. The decorated war hero, Jeffy and I, sat down on this goddamn fucking brown horse, and we didn't have any reins, and we got fucking trapped. We couldn't stop the horse. What do you want me to do? Jump off and die and fall in the fucking stream that's nearby and freeze to death because I'm in the middle of nowhere? And the cop's like, oh yeah, you're probably right, Elizabeth Lane. You're probably right.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, fucking told you. I fucking told you. So they let her go, and they let Jeffy go, and they go back home. And it's in the middle of this like media hullabaloo, and she's like, all right, fuck Mr. Sloan.
Fuck all these stupid white dudes.
Yeah, fuck all you fucking stupid white men. All you fat ass fucking white men. Mr. Yardley, I'm a fraud. I'm a fucking city slicker. I like going to Broadway shows. I like mink coats. I like to get drunk at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday.
And that is why Elizabeth Lane is our gal pal.
That's why Elizabeth Lane's our gal pal. And she's not going to conform to his fucking standards. I'm going to fucking marry Jeffy, the fucking decorated war hero. We're going to get married, and we're going to go upstairs and fuck right now. How do you like that, Mr. Yardley? How do you like that? And he's like, oh, well, I'm flabbergasted. Yeah, I'll keep up your ruse. I'll keep up your ruse only because it'll sell magazines, and we don't want the competitors to have one step ahead of us. And you know what? The whole fucking time.
That's because Felix told him that the other magazine wanted to woo her away, and he's like, oh, fuck no.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Even if she's a fraud, she's better. She's such a good writer.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't fucking let her go. No. Okay, you want to get drunk at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? I'm sending you the champagne, bitch. Here you go. Get drunk. Kick up your heels. Just keep writing me my articles.
Yeah, shout out to Felix for being like, yeah, you know what? Elizabeth doesn't want to write for you anyway. She's going to go fucking write for Good Housekeeping, or the fuck it is.
Yeah, and like Sloan is still trying to like get his article, and Yardley's like, "Oh hell no, just stop talking."
Yeah, he's like, "Get out of my
face."
Like
you're just done, boy.
He's like, "Come on."
And then the best part is when Jefferson like gets to Elizabeth, and he's all like playing her, and she's all like, "Ooh, no." He's like, "Oh, I don't care that you're married. Kiss me." And she's like, "What?" She's like crawling on the bed to escape him, and he pulls her onto his lap.
Oh yeah, because he knows that she's not married, but he wants to like do like one last like practical joke, I guess. I don't know.
Yes.
Rapey behavior is a fun practical joke. Let's try it out.
Let's try it and see what happens.
And then at the end she's like, "Oh, you knew all along I wasn't married. Oh, shenanigans, Jeffy. Jeffy, we're meant for each other. Let's get married immediately. Let's not have like a woo-in period."
Yeah, pretty much. Well, and we forgot the nurse shows up.
Oh, yeah, the hot nurse, Mary Lee shows up. Well, because I guess the whole purpose of her like sending Jeffy to this farmhouse in Connecticut was for her to like land Jeffy, but she has to show up to tell everyone that she married Sinky instead.
What? Okay.
In this whole like 24-hour period that Jeffy was here in Connecticut with you fucking idiots, Mr. Seaman Sinky revealed himself to me. And you know what? I fucking like him better. He's a better guy.
Yeah, so we married.
Do you think they stay married?
Oh, God. Like, probably, but they were probably miserable.
Like, they just stayed together for like 62 years. It was like grumpy old men.
Yes, exactly.
It was like George and Martha, Dennis the Menace's neighbors, George and Martha Wilson. Just begrudgingly staying together, sticking together for their like a fucking 11 children.
Because like, what are they gonna do if they get divorced?
It didn't happen.
Exactly.
It didn't happen in 1945. You just stuck it out. And just see what happened.
Otherwise, everybody talks shit about you.
What a wild fun movie.
It is a fun movie. It's problematic in a 2017 lens. However, I think it is less problematic than the 1992 version.
Definitely.
You have to see it because it's bad, but like you won't believe how bad it is until you see it. But I want an updated version. I cannot believe that between Lifetime, Hallmark, Freeform, Up, Ion, nobody has remade this like at all. Okay, I have like this plotted out. Like, okay, picture it. You get your like lifestyle food blogger who you like, maybe you never actually see a picture of them. You just have like these great articles with like these pretty pictures of all the food. And it's really like a guy doing it behind it. And there's a reporter who wants to like interview them or like do a TV special or something about them. That whole thing, plus bring in a war hero, that still works.
Yeah, I kind of like where you're going with this. This is wild.
And okay, like I kind of have a dream cast for this.
All right, let's hear your dream cast.
Like I don't know who would be who, but I kind of want Amber Riley.
Okay.
From Glee. Corbin Bleu.
Who the fuck is Corbin Bleu?
High School Musical is what he's best known for.
Okay.
Brant Daughtry from Pretty Little Liars.
Okay.
In the 50 Shades movies. Okay, like that's like my trio. My like OG trio.
Wow, that's a very, very intense, deep OG trio of A Christmas in Connecticut 2018.
Well, I think they were actually like all on the same season of Dancing with the Stars. And I really wanted to see them all in something together.
Oh, okay. So they're fresh in mind.
But
all right, well, you know what? Put it on your vision board. It might happen. We might just get it.
I've been like waiting for this for like 5 years.
All right, well,
like it's like the perfect idea. Like, come on, people. Hallmark, call me. We'll figure this out.
You know what? I would like A Christmas in Connecticut with like Kristen Ritter. I think Kristen Ritter would be like a hot choice.
Oh, Dean Cain would have to be in it because Dean Cain. He's due for another Christmas movie.
Fuck Dean Cain. Dean Cain could fucking eat my asshole. Please do, Dean Cain.
Leave Superman alone.
He's no Superman. He's Clark Kent. He's no Superman.
Leave my Superman alone.
All right. So what are we doing next week?
I honestly don't even freaking know. What are we doing next week?
All right. So we got just one more Christmas episode before we venture into the new year. This is gonna be wild.
Oh my god.
Did you just remember?
Yes.
Can I just all I say is that Juliana Margulies is involved. Our gal pal Juliana Margulies.
Oh my god.
OG Juliana Margulies though.
Oh my god.
We're going back to a time before she was The Good Wife. Way before The Good Wife and like all her other failed TV series. Back to a time when she was Nurse Carol. What was her title?
Nurse Carol Hathaway.
Yes, Nurse Carol Hathaway. We are gonna do ER. We're going to the emergency room. We're going to Chicago. We are going to just go to a very holiday-themed episode of ER. Does it involve like a Christmas carol? Like someone's singing, right? There's like a pageant or something going on.
Yes, there's Christmas caroling and stuff. It's Christmas Eve in the ER.
That's all you need to know right now. And maybe I will like share memories of me working in an ER on Christmas. Because I've worked in ER on Christmas, so we'll do some comparing and contrasting. Who knows? Maybe not, because the TV show is more exciting than like whatever.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Okay, because I love ER.
So join us at that point. And
yay!
Where can you follow us? Where can you follow Wacky Adventures?
Okay, you can find us online at averyspecialpodcast.com and saltyrockmedia.com.
Yeah, girl.
And you can find us on Twitter at verypodcast. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at A Very Special Podcast. And you can find us on YouTube by searching A Very Special Podcast.
Yes, we do not accept imitators.
No, do not accept the imitators.
And as always,
damn the man.
Damn the man.
Bye!
Watch the sky.
Why do you keep trying to make that happen?
I'm going to make it happen.